Okay, everyone, welcome to our week 4 call for Raise Your Standards Challenge. I'm very, very excited today because when I was thinking about who I wanted to be as guest speakers on this call, the first diamond, of course, came to mind with Sheila Medina, and I was fortunate enough to have her for my Jewels training, which was the most amazing few days that I've ever spent in Plexus, to just hear from her and Helen McFadden and just get loved on and poured on with great information. And if there's anybody who ever has their belief at 100 about this company and has seen it grow from the beginnings to now, it's Sheila. And so Sheila's going to talk through some of the early days of Plexus and her time with Plexus. And I'm going to give it off to you, Sheila. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you guys. It's such a pleasure to do these calls, and I love doing them because it gives me an opportunity to just kind of go back and even refresh my memory of where we all were and where we are now. And it's pretty amazing when you think about it. In fact, I just started a little training with some of my jewels, and we're going through the belief factors right now, just feeding off of each other about it. And so, but I want to take you back to the very beginning. And I know maybe some of you have heard my story, but I'm going to give you a little bit longer version of it tonight instead of the short version. But truly, I had been in business with Mary Kay Cosmetics for 15 years. I had helped the company open up the Philippines. I drove a pink Cadillac. I looked at my business as quite successful. In fact, people looking in thought I was quite successful, but there was always something that I couldn't figure out what that was, but I always felt like there might be something else for me. And so luckily in May-ish June of 2008, I ran into a lady who had breast kits at a health fair, and I decided that I wanted to get those breast kits at cost to help me build my other business. I thought, man, this is going to get me into health fairs that I can't get in with Mary Kay Cosmetics, but I can get into them with a breast kit. And so unfortunately, the company was going through a change. They were actually being purchased by our current executives. And so nobody was really sure how to sign someone up. And interesting, right? Like I can't get signed up. Sound familiar? And so I just couldn't get signed up. And so it took them a little while to figure out how to get me signed up. And there was only very few working because they only had one non-consumable product, which was our breast check kit. And so I eventually did get signed up in September of 2008. And didn't really do much with it except buy some breast kits. And in June of the following year, 2009, I got a call from Tarl, and he asked, would I be willing to test a new product? And I have to tell you, they had two products at the time. They had the breast check kit, and they actually had something called our breast cream, which now is known as our body cream. And it was interesting because they didn't give me any idea or any indication of what the new product was going to be about, but I knew my other company had over 270 products, and I was kind of happy that this company only had one, then eventually two, and now they're bringing a third one on. I was like, oh my gosh, another product, right? But I knew that just maybe this product could help me, so I started taking our Plexus Slim. It actually did not have a name at that time. It came in a white packet in a plastic jar. And I was pretty trustworthy because I just drank it. And I started sleeping better and feeling better. I did start losing some weight. I had put on some weight from hormone issues. But the best thing was I had felt better than I had felt in a long time. And I thought, okay, this is good stuff. And you know what happens when you find something that you like? You start sharing it with your friends and family, right? And especially when you start looking better and feeling better, they want to know, hey, what are you doing? So I started telling people what I was doing. Unfortunately, it didn't have a name. So I was like, as soon as we figure out what we're going to call it, I'll let you know. And that did not go over well. But we did officially give it a name, and we launched it September the 6th, 2009. And from September to December, I started seeing people's lives change. It was like I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe what was happening, and people wanted to be a part of it. So I found myself signing people up for other people. I was like, they were like, I'm at work, but there's 3 people over here. Could you go talk to them? I'm like, okay, I go talk to them and get them signed up for that person. And it was pretty amazing. So from September to December, that whole year of 2009, the company did about 280,000. Of course, this is not something you can go post on Facebook. These are just very estimated numbers, but we did about $280,000 worth of business. So it certainly wasn't a company I was going to give up my other business for. And then in December of 2009, I don't know, I just had this overwhelming feeling that I needed to go be with Plexus. I needed to just retire, step down, whatever you want to call it, from my Mary Kay career and just really give Plexus a decent shot, because this product was helping a lot of my friends and a lot of their families. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take a chance here. And so I, on December the 15th, called Plexus and said, I'm going to go full-time with you guys and do Mary Kay very part-time. They were excited. I was like the first person to go full-time. They were so excited. And so I really kicked my business off in January of 2010. That first year, all we really did was just share each other's testimonies. We built our entire business that first year on testimonies. And no, we didn't go to Emerald or anything like that in 2010 because there was not that many people working the business. There was no pool, an ambassador pool or Emerald pool. There was no real pool. And so I turned Senior Ruby in 2010, and the company came to Gulfport, Mississippi, and threw a big party for me for becoming the first Senior Ruby. Kind of interesting, right? Like, really? But you see, the rest of the company had been grandfathered in, what 30 or so ambassadors there were, had been grandfathered in at Senior Gold. And I was the first person who actually went silver and then gold and Senior Gold and Ruby. And then when I hit Senior Ruby, they were so excited. They came and had a dinner party for me. We had about 50 people there. It was so exciting. I mean, I couldn't believe corporate came to my town for a dinner party because I became a Senior Ruby. But they did, and it was really fun, and they gave me some little trinkets and a pin. It was pretty cool. And so 2011, by this time we'd introduced the Cleanse and the ProBio 5. We didn't call it Tri-Pill-X because we just weren't that cool. We didn't know that we could call it a cute little snazzy name and get away with it. But we just told people, hey, if the Slim wasn't working for you, then you had a digestive problem and you probably need to get on the ProBio or the Cleanse. And so our belief level in the product was off the chain. I mean, when I tell people 10, no, we were on 11.5 because we were watching it change people's lives. And so we were so sold on the product. So we were very product driven because we didn't really have any money yet. We hadn't started making an income. Yes, some money started coming in, some $100 checks and $200 and $500, but no major large amounts of money like you hear people today talking about. But what we realized was there were just tons and tons of people that could use an extra $300. It was amazing. They didn't need $10,000s of dollars. They needed a quick $300 or $500. It made a huge difference. So in the year of 2010, we did almost, I think it was like $968,000. So we did just a shy of $1 million in 2010. And then in January of 2011, I got a call from the company. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're really close to going Emerald. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah. You see, we were so busy building Plexus that we didn't really think about our team. We were just out there building Plexus. And so, and they said, we need you to go Emerald because if you do it, then everybody can do it. It will just give confidence for those that are wanting to do it but not really sure about it. And so that was January. By March of 2011, I became the Emerald Ambassador. And I remember my first check as an Emerald Ambassador, realizing I was the only one in the pool, but the pool wasn't as big as it is now. But interestingly enough, I can remember it was like $10,000. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. I told my husband, I just made a $10,000 check. This is crazy, right? My first month as an Emerald Ambassador, but the company did over $10 million worth of business that year. We went from doing 280 to less than $1 million to over 10. But then in 2012, it exploded. And we did like $36 million worth of business in 2012. We created the Sapphire position, which I had already passed the Sapphire points, but we created the Sapphire position because we realized that there was a big jump between 1,500 points for Emerald and 4,500 points for Diamond. So there needed to be something in between. So we came up with a CAR program because We knew that cars were attractive to those people looking in, but we wanted to make sure that it was a car program that was sustainable. We didn't want people earning cars that weren't making any money. There were companies out there that were showing off their cars, but they had no paycheck. And it takes a paycheck to live, right? And at first we weren't sure about our paychecks, and then we realized, wait a minute, our paychecks are just simply a reflection of the people that we're helping to get healthy. And so we were pretty excited in 2012 when our company did over 36 million. And then in 2013 is when I went diamond, and the company did $160 million that year. If you think about, that's pretty short, from 2009 to 2013, going from less than $1 million to $160 million. That's some major growth. And we weren't using social media, very small bits of social media. I mean, we were simply just person to person, and the word was getting out. And then, think about 2014. I can remember we had our first $30 million month, and we're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And then I think in 2015, we did about somewhere around $390 million worth of business. And then I think this past April, we did $50 million worth of business. And you think about that, we're talking about 16 products, and 2 of those are duplicates, right? The X Factor Children's Vitamin and the X Factor Vitamin, that's kind of the same product, vanilla and chocolate and the P96. So we really have 16 products or less. So we have a very small product line to have such huge growth. And when I tell people, we grew 16,000% in 3 years, our company was not prepared for that kind of growth. And so we've had to back up and punt a little bit. We've had to install new systems, and they have some snags. But I want to tell you guys that this is not our first back office new system. This is my 3rd go around with a back office system since 2010. So this is not the first time. It won't be the last time. And in fact, it's kind of a good thing. I think we'll look back and say, oh my gosh, remember when we had to change systems because our company was growing? Because you guys, if we don't upgrade our systems and go through these bumps and trials, then we can't get any bigger. Other people can't join, and we'll stall. And we don't want to do that because we have life-changing products. And so it's been pretty impressive. And then I think, oh my gosh, direct selling industry, are you kidding me right now? They ranked us as number 23 in the United States and number 46 in the world. I mean, that is off the chain. Like, how did that happen? Most network marketing companies don't even last 5 years. I kind of put us in a category of, really, this is kind of our 6th year, because nothing really happened until we went full time in 2010 and started really working the business. And then really nothing happened to 2011. So I think we're not that old to have already had this type of growth. In fact, if you talk to, or if you look up top leading MLM companies, we're in the top. We're in the top 10%, which is just absurd with our small product line. And really, when you think about 400,000 ambassadors, but really in any given month, you've got about 250 or so thousand ambassadors that are active or commission qualified. When I was with Mary Kay Cosmetics, we had 3 million just in the United States, and they sponsored people every day. So we got, guys, we're like a needle in a haystack. This is such an exciting time. I hear people say, oh my gosh, I wished I would have gotten in when you got in. I don't know if you'd still be here. I don't know if you would have went through all the things we went through. I can't explain why we did or why I stood by them through all the thick and the thin, but there was something in me that was passionate and excited, and my belief level in the company and network marketing and the compensation plan, and then I started to have belief in me. And that's probably the hardest part and the biggest struggle you'll have in your career with Plexus, I believe, is the self-belief in yourself, because we're always playing the comparison game, and I promise you, you will always fall short every time, because see, you compare your weaknesses to someone else's strengths. And the best thing to do is just work on your strengths. Just delegate your weaknesses. That's what I do. I just get people that are better at it than I am. I delegate my weaknesses and I just build on my strengths. It's easier for me that way. And that way I'm not all wrapped up in, oh, I'm just not the leader I should be, and I'm not sure if I'm doing things right. And, you know, all this training. You guys, we had 2 trainings when I started. One, how to have a presentation, and 2, how to talk about the product without really explaining it. I mean, we just kind of listed, here's the products, this is what we think they'll do for you, this is what they've done for so-and-so, and that was it. And now we have the success kit, we have the VP of training, and you guys, the people that they have hired just recently in this last year, they have hired people that maybe even corporate had a weak spot, and they've put somebody powerful in those spots. Cynthia Latham, guys, she is amazing. I mean, when I think about where she came from, and she didn't have to come to Plexus, and she wanted to come to Plexus, she is going to take us to the next, oh gosh. I mean, I'm so excited about this lady, I just can't even explain it. And then Sarah Beauregard came in. She's like a powerhouse. She wants to do everything amazing. She wants everything to be the best for us. And so I see us as a corporate company on the corporate side really, really stepping up their game and putting people in the right place. You guys, we're going to be a legacy company. I'll never forget when Taro called me about, I don't know, it's about 2 years ago. Well, we talk all the time, but about 2 years ago, he called me and he said, Sheila, can you imagine doing this for the next 20 years? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he doesn't realize how old I am, because I don't know if I got 20 good years to give you, buddy. You're young. I'm not so young. And so, but he said, no, I'm talking about the residual income part. Can you imagine just doing what you do right now, and eventually you'll just be able to just do what you want to do and grow that residual income. And so my message to ambassadors are, work while you're able to work, because you never know what can happen. Trish, you know that firsthand of what's happened just in the last week or so, or 10 days, or whenever your husband's accident was, how quickly life can change. It could have been so much worse, right? So how quickly can your life change? I say work while you're healthy. Work while you can, because you never know what's going to happen in life. And so as long as I'm healthy and I'm excited and my belief level is where I think it needs to be, I'm going to continue to work. I could sit back on my laurels and make a really good check, but I'm not there yet. I really am about seeing how many lives I want to change. You know, I talk about this a lot, and I know Trish has heard me say it from our dual training, but the truth is, you get into network marketing in the beginning because you're thinking, I could really use the finances. I mean, most Americans go to bed worrying about how they're going to pay their bills, not so much about their gut health or weight loss or any of those things. They're really worried about how are they going to pay their bills. And so a lot of people get into Plexus because of the opportunity, because it is off the chain good, right? But then you realize, oh my gosh, look at all this time freedom I have. I could actually get around to maybe only working part-time on a regular job, or eventually retiring from my job. I know 2 years ago, I retired my husband from a corporate job he's had for 35 years. He made excellent money, 6 figures. I mean, he's always been a really, really good provider for our family, and I was able to retire him. He plays golf a lot now. But what's interesting is, you'll find out that the time freedom almost is as much exciting as the financial freedom. And then there's a big pivotal point in your business when you realize that, yeah, the money's great and the time freedom is great, but oh my goodness, look at the lives I've changed and impacted along the way. And that will totally change everything. So I would suggest to you, think about, how many lives can you change? Because your check will just be a reflection of how many lives you've changed along the way, whether that's a new ambassador or a new customer. You know, I'm all about letting a person make that decision on their own. I never try to convince anyone to do anything. I believe there's 3 ways that you can be a part of Plexus. That's a retail customer, a preferred customer, or an ambassador. And whichever one you choose, I'm happy about. I'm thrilled about, because I know that customer could evolve into an ambassador. But if I try to push them now, then I may push them away. So I'm always very happy no matter what they decide to do. It just gives me an opportunity to stay connected to them. And so I'm really very much about this business, and this opportunity is for the masses. There's a saying at corporate, and what they say is, we're not about having thousands of millionaires. We're about having millions of thousandaires. And I love that because there's not hardly any companies out there that can say we have a mass amount of people making $500 or more a month, which is life-changing to so many people. So we can help them with their health. We can help them with their finances. We can help them with personal growth. We can do all those things. And it truly is a passion of mine to instill belief into people. And I don't care what you've done in the past. You can be an amazing leader in Plexus because everything's in place for you to be the very best you can be. And here's what I'm going to end my little conversation with you tonight is you're enough. You are enough. You don't need to be anybody else but you. You are the perfect you. God did not make a mistake when he made you. So you are enough. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to be me. Don't try to be anybody. Don't try to be Trisha. Be you, because there are people out there that are waiting for someone just like you to come along and introduce them to Plexus. So I just commend you for being on this call. And Tricia, you have amazing leadership skills, and I believe your team is going to soar to the top. It's not a race, it's a journey. So please, please enjoy every step of your journey, because that's exactly what it is, your journey.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Sheila. And I think that hits it right on the head, because I think everybody always wants to be here, right? We're always looking at, when am I going to be diamond, or when am I going to be emerald, or if you're silver, when am I going to be gold? And we're always looking at that next step, and we forget to smell the roses as we're getting there. And let me tell you, it's like when your children grow up, you think, where did it all the time go? And, you know, there's times in this past 2.5 years on my journey that I'm thinking, gosh, I missed so many things because I was in such a race to try and get to the next step. And not to say that you don't want to work hard and you don't want to focus and you don't want to be determined, but don't let anyone else's journey veer you into a place that you need to be. If you need to take time to take care of your family, or you need a time to do what job you have, it's okay. Just because the person who started with you is moving in a different direction, there's probably someone else looking at you thinking you're moving further ahead than they are, right? Always looks at something differently. It's those blinders we want to have on. I have one question for you, Sheila, because you've been doing this obviously since the beginning. In the beginning, we had really nothing. You mentioned it yourself. There really wasn't any training. Now we've almost got a plethora of training, right? And I think sometimes it may become a little overwhelming. If there was one thing you could look at from what you found to be the most successful when it was just you and very minimal things, what would you say is maybe the key thing that helped your business grow?
I'm going to say I didn't keep it a secret. I didn't prejudge. And I always ask people, who do you know? It was never about them. I'm always about third party. If you feel weird about approaching people, whether it be through email or Facebook or one-on-one or whatever, I love to say something like, oh my goodness, I'm helping this company market a great product. And you might know somebody that could really be beneficial. They're looking for distributors and they're looking for customers. Who do you know? So my favorite line was, who do you know? I took the pressure off of them. It was never ever about them or me. I'm very much third party, and I think that helped me a lot because I took myself out of the picture and I didn't put all my eggs in that one basket. If they told me no, that was fine, because I wanted them to introduce me to everybody else that possibly might be interested. And here's what I found. Either they gave me those names or they thought, oh no, you're not getting my friends, I want my friends, right? And so I would just say that don't prejudge people and don't keep it a secret, because people want to know what you're doing. And if you feel weird about it, just think, how many times have you referred someone to a restaurant, a store, a boutique, a theater, and they have yet to send you a check for all your recommendations of sending anybody anywhere? You are simply recommending to people. Don't be a salesperson. Please don't be a salesperson, because we don't want you to sell. Nobody wants your job. Don't work this business 24/7. People don't want your job if you work it 24/7. Stop and smell the roses. It's okay to take time off. Just be yourself, because you're good enough. And yeah, just, don't don't think that that one person is going to make or break you. But just to let you know, when they're saying no to you, it's never to you. It's about what you're offering, and you have no idea what's going on in their life. That right now is a no, but you could circle back around in 3 months, 6 months, and just say, hey, I don't know where you are today, but I just wanted to let you know I'm still doing this Plexus thing, and I'd still love to have you as a part of our team. Never, never give up on people, and please don't prejudge them.
Right, exactly. Now, I do have one question, and Kimmy, I'm going to definitely ask it because I think you're right. Again, it goes back to the difference between where things are back then and where things are now. I think sometimes people get caught up in it needs to be a real fancy presentation, or it really needs to be a fancy sip and see. I mean, let's lock in the doors in the car and pour in our pink drink. Why don't you tell them that little story? I love that one.
Okay, so in the beginning, all I did was, they call them business lunches now. We call them weight loss parties, and somebody else named it that. A girlfriend of mine said, I want to have a weight loss party. I was like, girl, I don't have weight loss parties. And she said, well, just get together and let us taste that stuff. So this is how fancy we were. I got 3 people in my car, started the car because it was hot, so their air conditioner came on, the doors locked, they weren't going anywhere. I took 1 package of Slim, 1 bottle of water, shook it up, had some little Dixie cups, I think they had little turtles or something on them, poured everybody a sip, tasted it, and I said, that's it. That's how hard it is to work this business. I'd love to know, would you like to be a retail customer and pay full price? Would you like to be a preferred customer and get a discount? Or would you be interested in wholesale membership? And if you're interested in wholesale membership, then I'm going to have to qualify you, because the one thing that we ask is that you're willing to share this product with other people. Are you willing to do that? And if they said yes, they became an ambassador. If they said no, I said you'd make a great preferred customer. I just was very okay with whatever their answer was. And I'll tell you today, I personally think if you're going to do a one-on-one, get a catalog. Don't try to be fancy. I did not use a PowerPoint until I had to do a corporate event. I can do a meeting with a catalog, a brochure, iPad on just showing my website and going through the products. I mean, I can totally do a blown out, tell you all about the comp plan and our products in 15 minutes. And there's nothing fancy about it. And at the end, I say there's 3 ways to purchase. Which one would best work for you? That's it. It's just nothing fancy. And the truth is, I do the same thing today as I did 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Now you just see me more because I have to do corporate things and we have to put it up on the big screen because there's so many people in the room. But used to be not so many people in a room, 5 people around a table. We thought we were awesome.
Well, and I agree. I think sometimes, too, we see all that now, and the new people who come on board get frightened by that. I think that's what they're supposed to do. And, again, there's plenty of diamonds out there who aren't always in the limelight, who aren't always doing the trainings, because that's not where their strengths lie, right? Their strengths lie in other areas, and that's okay. We don't have to be fancy, We need all types of different people. I believe however many ambassadors there are, that's how many ways to work your business. I think the only thing you do need to be sure is that you work your business in an ethical and a golden rule and one Plexus way. And if you'll do that, then whatever lane you decide to go down to work your business will work just fine. Amen. Amen. Well, thank you so much, Sheila. We appreciate your time this evening. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. I enjoyed it. Bye.